at this, eh? Yeah. So we've sort of come to an end, and I still don't feel like I've done any of these properly, but that's all right. There's a few more to go, but I felt like I'd save them for another time. Because I don't know, they're kind of a bit heavy. So anyway, I thought we'd end on a sci-fi one, something that's a bit sci-fi. I feel like I'm messing this one up a bit, a little bit still. But yeah, this one is an alternative future, and just maybe I don't know how crazy it is. It's just one of those things that doesn't make sense and does make sense, and I wonder what that means for the world. Um, but it's called Reinventing the Tit, and it's all about the tits of life. Um, you know, well, yeah, we know it. We all know what boobies are. We've all seen a boobie, I think. Maybe once or twice people might have seen a boobie. Maybe. Um, but first, can I just talk about being reunited with this hat? Yeah, I used to have this hat when I was younger, and I've just got it now out of the post, and it's nice to have it back. And it looks a lot smaller. I think maybe my head's just a lot bigger because it's the same hat. Um, uh, but I'd like to have blonde hair. I'd like to have bleached hair, and I feel like you've unlocked the legacy mode, and I feel like a game character, and then you've unlocked the blonde haired one, but you still hasn't come out yet, so you're getting the demo version. You get a demo version, and I hope you've enjoyed the game so far, and all of this sci-fi madness is actually got some sort of merit to it, or some sort of maybe you enjoyed your time a little bit. I've still got to bleep out a lot of the swear words and stuff, um, and maybe redo some of them. But yeah, maybe if you want any to expand on any of them, let us know. And if you haven't seen them yet, go back and watch them over because they're they're mental. They're mental. But this one is all about reinventing the boobie and the tit itself. And how weird is it that we only drink our mother's tits milk? You know, um, could you not have could would babies be better off if they were drinking booby milk from other mothers? Yeah. And why does it have to stop at babyhood? You know, couldn't it get to a certain age and then we start suckling onto other people in the world? Because much like the blood science that I was talking about, we need to be connected. We need to be connected to people. But on a serious note, not everyone can make milk, unfortunately. That's why we have formula milk and stuff. But in the past, you would have had like wet nurses and all this sort of thing for babies, anyway. And I don't know if they would have done human milk. It would have seemed to be maybe overlooked, a bit of an oversight to not have human milk because humans make milk. But why is it we only drink cow milk? Because they make a lot of milk. And I know there's some sort of weird circles online where they like the milk cows or whatever. And I don't know if they actually get any milk from those women, or if that's not just perversion of something. But I think some people might like the idea of sitting in a bar and having like ladies come sit on your lap and maybe they have take care of you a little bit. You you drink some beer and you'd lick on a titty. I mean, you can do that. Never stopping you doing that. Um, so maybe I'm just maybe I'm just branching out into a fantasy. But what I'm trying to say is, what would the world be different? How would the world be different if you know, people carried on drinking booby milk? Would we be better with women in our lives, or I don't know, maybe not. Because immediately now, what springs to mind is, you're getting told off at like school or something, and it's like a maternal figure just gets her tit out, and she's like, you're just like some really muscular, really muscular guy, like really bad guy, and he's just suckling away, just breathing in those maternal hormones, and she's just giving him a good earache, and you know, he wipes his mouth and he goes, "I'm sorry, missus, I won't do it again. I'm so sorry." Because they do love them, women. Um, yeah, milk. I don't think ever stops, does it? Because you do see on the some of the weird programs, the weird daytime slots TV programs, don't you? Where they'll have the 8-year-old or the 7-year-old still suckling the booby milk. So I don't think it stops. You can keep that. You can keep the juices flowing. They say, maybe. They say. They say down the old booby bars. Yeah. But no, doesn't that sound alright though? And the girls are thinking, actually, there's a lot of money in this. So you're telling me I just sit there and I make boob milk? Could be very good for humans as well, because there's a lot of smartness in the old boob, you know. Um, the boobay rather than boobie, anyway. Of course, yes. Um, you'll learn to differentiate those, don't you worry. Um, but yeah, they say that when a baby's sick or a child's sick, they say when a baby's sick, the nipple can actually detect the illness, right, and create antibodies and stuff. So that's probably quite a good thing, isn't it? You know, you could get healed from a nurse, a booby nurse, milk nurse. I mean, that's just science, guys. It's just science. Yeah. And really, if you got time in your day to take a bit of time off, get the machine on, get your knitting going, and you could really saving some lives and making a lot of money maybe. And I don't know. Some people are like, oh, I don't want to drink booby milk. Well, it's ethical, and drinking cow milk is kind of weird, maybe. And I'm sure there'd be different varieties of booby milk. You'd have your general milk, you'd have your full fat milk, and you'd have your different tastes. Maybe there is different tastes. Maybe it's to do with diet and all that sort of thing. Your vegan milks. I mean, it'd all be organic now, wouldn't it? He's like, would it? Would it actually? No. What is organic? Means like no herbicides and pesticides, isn't it? No, it wouldn't then. If they're not eating organically, then it's not organic, surely. Well, that's booby land for you, anyway. And I feel like there could have been more on that. But just imagine that. I told this to a girl once, and she was like, "No, you're disgusting. It's horrible." So that might be the reception we get. But to some people, it sounds like Valhalla or something. Doesn't it? Big horn of never-ending beer, a woman on your shoulder. Because I remember that once, or I thought that once. Is that maybe where the idea of carrying a woman down the aisle comes from? Like, do you actually, is the idea that you actually carry them, or would that just be showing off? um, but I don't know. I feel like there's a sort of an image of man with two women on her shoulders. I feel that's quite a strong image, isn't it? So look out for X milk that comes from science, because you'll see a big strong man, big strong baby boy maybe, with two women on his shoulders, maybe. But what do you think of that world? Do you think that's more of a societal closeness is? I think it would be. I think it. well, that sounds like a pervert, but it might smell really nice. You know, people give off weird smells, don't they? And alone, you know, you don't really know what you smell like, do you? I've been told I smell nice by people. People go, "Oh, I love your smell." Yeah, all right, okay, thanks. And I've always wondered what I smell like, because, um, it's moving into smells. Yeah, moving into smells, right, sure. Yeah, as you can see, you know, there's not a lot of, underlay. Subtext to the things I say is there. It's quite blunt. But anyway, smells. So yeah, people got their sort of like signature smells and their different fabric softeners and all these sorts of amazing things and their well-trained dusts and stuff like I said and another thing and you know all this great stuff. And I've always been like, you know, what do I smell like? What do I smell like? You know, because it's always interesting when you're a kid and you go around someone else's house, you stand in their porch or something, and you go, wow, it's got a smell to it, like it's like a new family smell or something. Wow, yeah. And that's strange stuff, isn't it? It's strange stuff. Because where does it come from? Where does it come from? And don't know. If you get two families that smell sort of really similar, what happens then? Do you reckon they'd get along or they wouldn't get along? But yeah, but no. Sounds like a nice world, doesn't it? A nice world of homely smells and boobies everywhere. And yeah, what else? What else would be in um the teat? I don't know the don't say fields, better fields. The no, nothing to do with cream. I don't know. I've gone off the idea. We don't need boobs. We don't need women. Whatever. Yeah. Actually, I don't know. I've completely changed my mind again. Yeah, boobies are great. And even if they got milking. Yeah. Okay. So I guess we'll leave it there. You can just imagine things. And how about you tell me like what else is in Booby Land? Um, you know, 'cause even if you haven't got boobies, you know, there's probably other stuff that you might like. So yeah, Gary, and thank you for joining me so far in these videos. And I hope I haven't butcherized them too much. And I hope I'll be able to move into some of the other topics, some of the heavier. They're not heavier, but they're just a bit. I don't know. Well, let's see. Let's leave you with some teaser then. For the future idea, numerology. I know. I couldn't be bothered with another. It's not pseudoscience, but another sort of like bullshit science thing. Time before time, which is just sort of speculation of um, time before time. But that sort of leads into some of my sci-fi stories, which are coming up as well. So hopefully you'll be able to join me in some of those. Whether I'll do them live or I will do them over a series of episodes or both. Um, we can look forward to that if that's your bag, if that's your thing, if that's the sort of stuff you like. Um, um, the Tsar. I wanted to talk about the Tsar, just the concept of the Tsar, and how interesting that would be. Because I feel like that sort of ties into Booby Land. It's just this sort of like really beautiful, like old fashioned, like really old, like fantasy, not fantasy, but like stuff that you might see in like idolized, like even like Howl's Moving Castle and all those sorts of like animes, which are sort of based in sort of like Europe. Just like loads of flags everywhere and like children running around and like trams and like balloons in the air and like loads of like airplanes and stuff. Um, like, is that not something that we'd want to see? And I don't know. I just feel like we could. There's this idea maybe that we could have a futuristic imperial sort of age, and you might be thinking, oh, well, you're supposed to be an anarchist, aren't you? You can't be imperialized. But I don't know. Maybe you could if it's just a different measure, and it sort of ties in with the numerology stuff, doesn't it? So we'll talk about that at some point. But yeah, there's definitely heavy dispute. I think that the issues that they've had with previous czars and kaisers and um, archdukes, at the start of the Second World War, was between like working people and these high like royalty, I suppose. They are like the czar and that. That's supposed to be like that's like the equivalent of like the Pope and the King combined. It's like in line with God sort of thing. So I don't know. I'd be interested to know what people think these days of how they feel about that sort of stuff, and is it even possible? Because personally, as much as I want to be like anarchist and stuff, I quite like the idea of revering people and having monarchs and stuff. It's quite nice because it feels like it's like human pride. Do you know what I mean? It's like somebody deserves it. Do you know what I mean? So it's nice to have that person and be like, give them that sort of thing, and everyone to have that thing, and actually believe in like grace and higher glory and all this sort of thing. Um, but at the same time, I don't want to see like class struggles ever. So, but yeah, there's something to talk about in the future. Numerology, we'll just go more into um, like numbers and how I think. Do you remember I was talking about how I thought like phi and the pattern of life translated into numbers and stuff? We can go into that and what that means for potential like application of numbers, maybe, or if that's a new thing, or if it's not a new thing, or if I'm wrong, because I just don't know. That's why I didn't want to cover it now, because it's just potentially kind of long-winded and not that interesting, is it? Time for time, yeah, it's just some sci-fi stuff in it, and the power of forgiveness, which is a spiritual thing, people. So we've got a bit of spiritual, bit of philosophy, and a bit of questions, more stupid questions to just natter away with, really. But yeah, there you go. I've left you with some nice sort of um, bohemian notion, I guess. I don't know if it's bohemia, but you know, some sort of something to think about. Boobies and aeroplanes and flags and that sort of thing. So yeah, join me after the break for however long it is, because I'm going to set these over a load of weeks, so I might even be more prevalent by the time you see Legacy Squibs, and I might even have blonde hair, or maybe I won't have blonde hair. Maybe it'll be green and brown at the same time or something. And I mean, wouldn't that be interesting? Anyway, all right, guys. Enjoy, and thanks, and maybe I love you a little bit, maybe something like that. Okay, bye now.